this lesson, we're going to look at putting. As you know, with all my teaching, there's a mix of understanding the shot and understanding the biomechanics or the movement itself. I've always put the majority of emphasis on thinking about the shot and the biomechanics second. They're equally important, but one needs to be thought about on the practice ground, the other needs to be taken to the course. So, I'm just going to show you something about putting. There's a phrase that you hear a lot on television, and you see pros with thick grips, and you hear the phrase, taking the hands out of putting. Well, if you actually watch Tiger Woods' pre-shot routine, his putting routine before he plays, for the first 10 minutes of his putting, he actually strikes putt with his right hand only. You know, if I was throwing a dart, okay, and my hand was passive, I don't think I could throw the dart. There has to be a link between the movement of my arm and the dart itself, and that's in my hand and my fingers. So I think the skill that we're looking for is to strike a shot the way we would any other shot. We hit draw, fade, low and high. What we're looking for with the putter is a ball that rolls end over end. And the reason we want a ball to roll is because a rolling ball holds its line, but our bodies compute distance and feel on the basis of a rolling ball. The people that do bowls on a bowling green, the white jack goes 30 metres down the lawn, and they take a bowling ball and they can roll it down to the inches over 30 metres. The human body has an incredible capacity for judging distance, but on the basis of the ball running true and rolling. So if I just remind you that the right hand does strike the putt, the skill is to disguise the strike of the right hand within the stroke. So if I tip forward, let my arms hang, I'm just going to hold this folder between the palms of my hand. And the essential mechanism is around the shoulders and the neck. It goes backwards and forwards. So that is the basic pattern coming from the shoulders and the neck. There's obviously no forearm rotation as such, and certainly no wrist hinge. This really is the simplest mechanism. There's a hint of shoulder movement, and the shoulders aren't rotating as they did in a longer club, they're almost rocking. But you can see the journey of my hands working back and through in a putting stroke. So when it comes to putting itself, there are a lot of similarities between the long game pre-shot routine and the same pre-shot routine for putting. So we're just working on an indoor surface here. I've put down a couple of white alignment rods. There's a little bit of right to left break in this putt. And the first skill, as in the long game, is to stand with my left foot opposite the ball. The big mistake, people put the putter face in and then they aim. That's a very dangerous combination. You need to stand here comfortably and aim the putter head as best you can. And from this angle, you're using both eyes. Once the putter is established, you lean forward and you build your grip. And then you take your stance. We want to catch the ball just left of the base of the arc, so the leading edge of the putter face, will be exactly between the feet. So we've established a pre-shot routine similar to the long game. We're offering the club at the right height and distance from the ball, and that's why it's important to get your putters custom fit, the right length and right lie. And we're quite individual with our putting styles, so a bespoke putter is a key thing. And remember, 30 plus shots of your round are going to be with what they call the flat stick. So customization is a key thing with the putter. People can overlook that. Now, having explained the posture, you can see that the angle that the putter leaves my forearm is much steeper. So with the longer shots, the angle of the shaft comes away from the forearm. And because the putter almost runs up my sleeve, the attitude is really quite different. So you can see that it's almost as though the club is running up the line of my forearm. And that's why we do make some different grips. There's lots of different ways of putting, but the most common with the short putter will be the reverse overlap. So it's where you go in, similar to a normal grip, but the club is much steeper and running almost up the lifeline of your left hand. And then the index finger overlaps. So from the front, you can see that sort of letter Y shape. The wrists maintain their shape. If I turn sideways, you can see now down the line that the club is coming as much up the forearm as possible. And the reason for that is it keeps the face square. See a little bit of movement there from right to left. So, offering the club, getting the club to sit properly. There's quite a fashion now for toe down. It used to be all heel down, toe up, but the base of the putter, if you can get that to sit comfortably, it helps your alignment with the face. In this case, I've got a big broad putter with an alignment line. Okay, leaning forward, putting my shoulders in a position where they can rock, and then doing my feet last of all. It's a pre-shot routine for the long game, but in miniature. Okay, now all I'm worrying about now is rolling the ball the correct pace. You can see a little bit of right to left break in that putt. So there we are, very, very basic. Aiming the putt ahead, tipping forward and building your grip, and then your feet responding last of all. Just to go back to the one big mistake, so many people go in there, they put the putt head down and then look at the hole, and that will always lead to a misalignment. Again, when you put the putter on its sole, you know the height of your hands and your distance, but also you're getting your spine in the right angle to hit the putt. Just hit one more for you. Aim in the face first, that's the visual alignment. Then I lean forward, my arms are hanging, there's no tension, and then I take my stance. Now once I've gone through the mechanical procedure of setup, I forget it, and all I think about is rolling the ball the right distance. So, once you've established the line of the putt and the end of the putt ahead, really you can't control that. The ball is going to go where you pointed the face. Your job is to roll the ball end over end and roll the ball the right pace. And the good thing is, if you work on rolling the ball, you'll develop a smooth backswing, a neat backswing, and it will foster smooth acceleration. So again, it's a situation where the task leads you to technique. Learn the shot, the swing's for free. Learn to roll the ball, you'll end up with a good putting mechanism.